Kaa learns to learn. One sunny morning, Kaa reads a hadith written on the seashore. He decides to act on it right away. By doing so, he manages to stop a big disaster. Kaa Learns to Learn is a motivational book about the importance of gaining knowledge. To those who do not delay in acting upon good advice. Click, clack, click, clack, went Kaa the crab as he walked sideways on the beach. "What's this?" he said, looking at some writing on the sand. Kaa had just learned to read, so he sounded out the words. Aha! It's a message. A hadith from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam that says, "Seek knowledge even if you have to go as far as China." He stopped to think for a moment and announced to all the seashells, "I'm going to pack my bags and go to China." "It's easy to go to China these days," said Seagull. "In Rasulullah's time, it was a tough and long journey. This hadith is telling us that we must take trouble and go out of our way to learn new things, even if it means traveling to faraway places." "Oh," said Kaa. "Thank you for explaining." Kaa went back home. He looked around and saw many places and sea creatures that he could learn from. "I will follow Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam's hadith. I'm on a mission to learn," he said. He passed by the coral reef as he did many times a day, but this time he asked himself, "I wonder how the coral reef got here." Starfish heard him and said, "I asked my mom the same question last week, so she pointed to a polyp like this one and told me that polyps are tiny soft creatures that attach themselves to rocks on the sea floor. Then they multiply into thousands more. They form colonies that grow over hundreds and thousands of years. Then they join with other colonies and become reefs. The coral reef is very important. It provides shelter to sea creatures like you and me." "MashaAllah," said Kaa. "Thousands of years. That's a long time. I wonder if this reef was here at the time of Nabi Adam." "No time to wonder now," said Starfish. "I hear the school bell. You better get going." In class, Muallim Manta said, "Today we will talk about the special gifts Allah has given each of us. One by one, you will come to the front of the class, tell them about your special feature, and your classmates will explain how it is useful. Ready?" "Can I go first, please?" said Anglerfish, raising her hand. She used to come all the way from the deep, dark bottom of the ocean to attend tidal wave Madrasah. "Certainly," replied Muallim Manta. "I have a light on my head," she said. "It's so you can take selfies in the dark," came a voice from the back. The whole class started laughing. Muallim Manta had a smile on his face. "That's useful," he agreed. "But what else?" "She attracts her food with the light," said the whole class together. Next up was Octopus. "I have many arms," he announced, waving them about. "So you can give tight hugs," said Lionfish. "No wonder you finish first on every exam," added Turtle. "That's because I have 9 brains," explained Octopus with a wink. Then Kaa spoke up. "I once read that octopuses have a mini brain in every arm. This means that they can use each arm to do something completely different. Is this true?" Sure is, replied Octopus, giving Kaa a high 8. Well done, said Muallim Manta. You have your thinking caps on today. It was finally Kaa's turn. He made his way to the front of the class. I have claws, he announced, snapping his pincers. You use them to catch your food, said Anglerfish. He could also use them for something else, said Seahorse shyly. And what is that? Asked Muallim Manta. There was a famous origami artist named Crab. He used to make the most beautiful origami sea creatures. He used his claws to cut and fold the paper. Kaa could do something like that. Kaa was struck by what Seahorse said. What more could he do with his claws? He had never thought about it before. The bell rang. Time was up. We will continue our discussion next week, inshallah, said Muallim Manta. For homework, I'd like you to do some research about... Ah, homework, moaned the class. Muallim Manta laughed. Must you complain every time? The students laughed too. They always did the fun homework that Muallim gave them, but not without a fuss. After Madrasah, Kaa went to Pearl Masjid for Maghrib Salah. He had heard that Sheikh Shark gives a khutbah after Salah. He wanted to learn some more. To Kaa's good fortune, Sheikh Shark was talking about the importance of gaining knowledge. He read from the Quran. اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم. Read, and your Lord is the most generous, who taught by the pen, taught man what he did not know. Then he explained, the first ayat of the Holy Quran that Allah sent to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam were about learning. Allah said to him, iqra, which means read. Then he said to read in the name of Allah who taught man with the pen. This means that reading and writing are very important if we want to increase our knowledge. Kaa was amazed at what he heard. He hadn't realized how important it was to read and write. He wanted to rush to Muallim Manta, kiss his fins, and thank him for teaching him these skills. He promised never to fuss again about homework. Kaa thanked Sheikh Shark for a lovely khutbah and left the masjid. He was on his way home when he heard a sudden commotion. He rushed to where the noise was and knew immediately what was happening. The pet store guys were back. They were trying to catch his friends. Kaa froze as his friends got caught in the net. His mind went blank. Then a moment later, he remembered what Seahorse had said in class. If Kaa could use his claws to cut paper, he could use them to cut the net too. He rushed over and struck his claws into the net, opening and closing them quickly so that the net would snap. A few seconds later, there was a hole big enough for his friends to escape. Kaa led his friends to the coral reef to hide. With a broken net and no sea creatures to catch, the pet store guys were forced to give up and leave. Kaa's long day was coming to an end. He was very pleased that not only did he learn a lot, he also managed to use what he learned to rescue his friends from trouble. On his way home, he decided to stop by Lobster Library to borrow a book to read at bedtime. Mrs. Lobster asked about his day, so he smiled a big smile and said, "Today I have learned that learning can be done anywhere as long as you keep your eyes, ears, and mind open." Mrs. Lobster thought that was a great thing to learn. She nodded her head and handed Kaa his book.